We are in unprecedented movie times. I'm not going to say breaking news. It's not a world disaster. It is movie news. So it's not breaking, it's unprecedented times. So never in my whole time of doing this, over 5 years, has a movie director confirmed something about a movie that hasn't been filmed yet. So the Venom 3 director has basically confirmed everything that I've been telling you about why you should be following and listening to Alex Perez. Because Venom 3 director literally confirms everything that Alex Perez has been saying. Venom The Last Dance basically confirms all Alex Perez's scoops he's been giving us in a recent interview. It's interesting because Sony have been ramping up their marketing, even doing the Hot Wings marketing and the UFC random marketing recently. So they've literally confirmed everything we know about Knull, and it also tells us everything we're hearing about Spider-Man 4 is literally going to be called the King in Black that first came from Alex Perez. And also Cryptic HD also was hinting at it a long time ago. So I give accreditation where accreditation is due. So this means Spider-Man 4 is basically confirmed to be cosmic, multiversal level, huge, crazy level, and yes, Knull could be Loki level god tier villain. Why? Because Andy Serkis, who is allegedly playing the motion capture actor, is absolutely insane. If you haven't seen him play Caesar in Planet of the Apes, go check him out. So, yo, what is freaking good, YouTube? Wish you here, new or animated guy to never miss any of the Marvel DC Kaiju Monsterverse pop culture based content that I try to cover on a daily basis. If you could subscribe to the channel, turn notifications on, and let me know down below how freaking excited are you for Knull to come to the MCU, because this article basically confirms it, unless it's hyperbolic and the Venom 3 director is lying to try and get you to watch it, but I don't think he is. Also, check us out on Instagram at WatchU to see that beautiful face behind the beautiful voice. Check us out on Twitter, WatchUG. Right, get into it. So, it's currently the 14th of October. We are literally 11 days. The movie Venom 3 comes out a week on Friday. And IGN is a very interesting website. They've literally confirmed all the rumors that Alex Perez and Cryptic HD hinted at the title for Spider-Man 4 could be King Black. So even the headline literally confirms how the movie Venom 3 is going to end. Venom 3 director says Knull isn't the Last Dance main villain. We know that is actually going to be Toxin, played by Detective McGullahan. The film is just the beginning for him. Beyond this trilogy, there are more stories to explore. The God is coming. Now, this is interesting because this tells us the relationship between Marvel Studios and Sony Pictures, Columbia Pictures is actually really strong. The King in Black is way too powerful for a one-and-done villain. Now, this doesn't necessarily tell us that Tobey and Andrew and every single Spider-Man villain appearing in Spider-Man 4 is true, but it tells us at least the Knull storyline is true, and that Tom Holland Spider-Man at some point will be donning the black suit. So, we're going to go to the important part of the article, which is talking about Knull, because let's be honest, that's what you guys care for. Is Knull the main antagonistic of this movie, or is his role in The Last Dance more of a tease for future conflicts to come rather than the central villain? If the latter is the case, did you feel he was too big of a character to treat as a one and done? Guys, seriously, here's Knull with freaking body Thanos. He's that big of a villain. He could be the villain of the whole multiversal saga instead of Doom, instead of Kang. Knull bodied a celestial. Knull was so powerful, it took so much help in order to take him down. So the responses, we're in spoiler territory now. Not really, because you've literally revealed it in the trailer already. We hope some of the fun of watching this movie is not knowing what will happen, but trust me, we know full well how important Knull is to the fans. Well, realistically, not a lot of fans. What I've seen recently on TikTok is a lot of Marvel TikTokers are making out they know who Knull is. Nah, lads, let's be honest. Let's go back a year or so, and Warstu was saying that Knull was being in this movie. I'm that guy. I'm going to keep saying it. So, just as we laid a foundation for Venom, we hope to do the same thing for Knull. The King in Black is way too powerful for a one and done. The film introduces Knull, but it just touches the beginning of his story. Marvel's greatest film villains are developed over time. Here, Knull is the threat lurking. He's basically stuck there because he needs the codexes to escape beyond the danger that tests absolute limits of Eddie and Venom's partnership. But it's their relationship that remains the heart of the story. It is, because like we've been saying from reports, he's just going to be teased. There is sadly going to be no Venom versus Knull fight in this movie. But I don't even think there will be in Spider-Man 4, because Knull is too big for Spider-Man 4. He needs to be done in a multiversal way. I hate to say it, but I hope Knull joins Doctor Doom's multiversal team and they team up. Now, this also leads on to the question that a lot of people seem to think they're misleading in the marketing. Now, I don't think it's misleading. I just think Tom Hardy's telling the truth when he says this is the last time he's going to be playing the role in the standalone movie. But he's not inferring to, you know, having an extended role in Spider-Man 4. So IGN asked a question. We know The Last Dance will be the final movie, but Tom Hardy's also confirmed. When an actor confirms something, it doesn't mean anything. Also confirmed that it's his last outing as the character. Without spoiling too much, was that Sony decision or something that resulted of what happens in the film? No, also, it's worth saying here that no scooper has a plot leak for the whole movie. It's worth saying no one has a real accurate plot leak yet. But the UK premiere happens on the 23rd of October, and press screeners are going to happen sometime early next week, probably most realistically around the 21st-ish. So there will be real information going over the whole movie, and then scoopers will come out and say they've had it for ages. But realistically, no one's had it for ages because no one even mentioned Knull except for Alex Perez and Critic HG. So I would give props where props is due. So let's break it down. From the beginning, Tom and I always envisioned that the particular Eddie Venom story would be told in 3 parts. The story arc would climax with the 3rd film, for reasons the movie will reveal. Okay, but that realistically doesn't mean that Tom Hardy's Venom is just done in this 3-part trilogy. Then also, it's worth saying here, IGN, if this is truly the final Venom film with Tom Hardy, why even set up such a consequential character as Knull? The response here tells us everything we need to know. As the fans know, there are many, many symbiote stories, as in many more. The universe is wide and rich, and one movie could never do justice to Knull. Beyond this trilogy, there are more stories to explore. God is coming. Basically, he's confirming Tom Hardy is going to be in Spider-Man 4 without actually saying it. It's kind of cute. It really is cute. Then it goes on to say, IGN's the interviewer, Knull co-creator Danny Coates said on Twitter that he had talks with Sony and was allowed to read the screenplay for Last Dance. What role, if any, did he and fellow co-writer Ryan have on the film, and how much input did they give into Knull's portrayal? Because recently they said on social media that they hoped to be compensated for his inclusion. But also, it's worth saying they had they behaved like they had no idea. The Venom books from David and Todd through to Danny and Ryan have always given us so much cool stuff. Tom is such a fan of Donnie and Ryan and spoke to Donnie as far back as Venom 1. Tom and I both felt their creation of Knull was absolute must to explore. Donnie and Ryan have an advisory relationship with Sony. See, I don't know if I believe that, because if you actually go back to the original tweets, they had no idea Knull was appearing in this movie until he appeared in the trailer. Or is this part of misleading marketing or clever marketing? Very interested, really hyped now, because it basically confirms that Spider-Man 4 is going to be some variation of A King in Black. Basically confirms the title. Spider-Man 4 is basically a multiversal cosmic movie, and it's going to have some variation of The King in Black or some variants of that, which is interesting. But it doesn't confirm everything. The King in Black is way too powerful for one and done. So it basically confirms that Knull will be in Spider-Man 4, and beyond, potentially, confirms that Tom Hardy Venom will be appearing also in Spider-Man 4. But it also does say, the story will say why Tom Hardy's story ends here. So maybe it's called The Last Dance because Eddie Brock dies and Venom has to find a new symbiote and he pieces. But then again, let's go back to the recently shot reshoots where we see Eddie Brock walking in New York City. Maybe Eddie Brock loses the Venom symbiote and he goes to New York City, he goes back to the MCU 616 to notify or go looking for Peter Parker, because obviously the hive mind, they all have the memories, and potentially he just goes there, kind of like people were trying to warn the Avengers about Thanos, or there was some kind of inkling that Thanos was coming. Maybe Eddie Brock just goes to New York City to warn Peter Parker that Knull is coming, the god of the symbiotes is coming. So this should, and I know why Sony has done this interview with IGN, because they know they've basically confirmed Knull is coming to the MCU, so it should spark more interest in normies actually going to watch said movie. So they've done it to make more people go watch Venom 3, which is interesting because the Venom movies don't make a massive amount of money, but they always break $600 million at the box office. And they know YouTubers, TikToks, they know creators are going to push the hell out of, oh my God, they've just confirmed that Knull is coming to Spider-Man 4, and maybe Andrew Garfield is coming to Spider-Man 4, and maybe Tom Hardy Venom is coming to Spider-Man 4. It's like they're trying to push everything to Spider-Man 4, but Sony benefits from this as well. Why? Because the sharing arrangement, Sony Pictures, Columbia Pictures, makes pretty much most of the money from the movies, and then Marvel Studios, Disney makes all the money from the Spider-Man sales. And they know if they play ball with Sony, then Sony will let them use whatever characters they want. And this Knull storyline could be massive. This movie could be, in theory, bigger than Spider-Man No Way Home. I know that's a bold statement, but if we are getting Knull, if you are getting Venom in Spider-Man 4 finally, and if Andrew Garfield is appearing, why couldn't it be bigger? Then also the Sinister Six apparently is also going to be appearing. So it could be No Way Home Part 2, realistically, but this time round, there's going to be massive ramifications instead of no ramifications, and the spell is most likely going to have to be broken, although the spell's not even really in play because Eddie Brock, because of the Venom hive mind, already knows who Spider-Man is. So like always, guys, let us know. Are you more hyped for this movie? Comes out a week on Friday. Can't wait to see it. As soon as I find out the plot leak information from the actual press screeners, or whenever new information comes out, I will cover it all for you guys. So like always, guys, check us out on Instagram at WarsJew. Check us out on Twitter. And I'll catch you in another video very soon. Catch you later.